Hello everyone, we're continuing on in 4.3, our lesson on design and production approvals. In the previous video we discussed TCDSs, or Type Certificate Data Sheets, and now we're going to learn a little bit more about Supplemental Type Certificates, STCs. A TCDS approves the original design of an aircraft, but let's say you want to make a modification to it, change the tires, change the muffler to reduce the amount of sound, different things of that nature. If you want to make a modification to something's original design in aviation, one of the ways that you can do that is called an STC. STCs, you explain how the modification is going to affect the existing design. STCs are always connected to the applicable TCDS numbers. So, for example, in the previous activity, and I'll show you right here, in the previous slideshow, we looked up the TCDS information for the Piper PA-23, which is listed under number IA-10. So if we were to go to look for an STC on the Piper PA-23, it would be listed under the same TCDS. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment here, but let's finish getting through this. STCs are only given to the person or organization that applies for them. So if you have a particular, let's say you have a general aviation company out in Alaska that does a lot of bush planes and flies out in the wilderness, and also makes modifications for skis on the bottom of an airplane so it can make watercraft landing. That company in Alaska would hold the STC. Well, let's say you have a company here in Utah that wants to use the STC from the people in Alaska. They can do one of two things. They could obtain permission from the people in Alaska, or option B, they could apply for a brand new STC for just their company using similar information from the STC from the people in Alaska. So again, I hope that helps. Take a moment, answer a couple questions. Thank you for doing that. Let's go ahead and go to the dynamic regulatory system. And we're going, again, we have the QR code here, you have the URL right here. And I'm going to ask you to consider the following case scenario. We're going back again to our Piper PA-23, and you just learned that you have a great deal on Michelin brand tires, and you actually want to install some on the landing gear. But you want to know if making that change is authorized, so you're searching for an STC, and you want to see if you can find an STC that approves the use of Michelin brand tires on a Piper PA-23. Again, use the TCDS number when you're doing your search, and use the term tires. After you find it, the next thing I'm going to have you do is, on that same STC, there's an attachment that lists what approved aircraft are allowed to use those Michelin tires. Look at the list and name at least 3 of them. Perhaps one of them could be an aircraft that's in your hangar. So why don't we go ahead and go to drs.faa.gov, and we're going to look up supplemental type certificates. To do that, you're going to go to Design and Production Approvals, the same place where you go for your type certificate data sheets, and you're going to do Supplemental Type Certificates. You click on that. I already have it up. And what you're going to do here is you're going to type in the TC number. Again, make sure you're following along with me so you get the learning experience. So the TC number for the Piper PA-23 is an I1A10. And then it helps if you type in a keyword over here, because if you just leave it for STCs that are applicable to that model of airplane, you're going to find hundreds of them. As a matter of fact, the results appear with over 500 different STCs. So if you want to narrow down that search, keywords will come in handy here. I'm going to type in the word tires and press enter. I'm going to press apply. And once that's finished loading, the first thing that's going to appear, installation of subject Michelin tires on appropriate aircraft. That looks like the correct one. So I'm going to click on that. The information is going to appear, and it of course gives some important information, but it also says you need to see the attached FAA approved model list to know which aircraft they apply to. We already know that this applies to our aircraft because it appeared in the search results, but let's take a look. You're going to notice here there's attachments and public comments. I'm going to click here where it says attachments, and then you're going to see an entire list full of aircraft that can use these brand of tires, and it's massive. There's hundreds of models of Beech aircraft. There's lots of Cessna options. Commander Mitsubishi Piper is our brand. And if you take a look, you're going to see that in this column over here, it lists the TCDS number, and we have 1A10 over here, and then here's all the different 1A10 models, the PA23, PA23-160. So that basically answers the question, and that's, for the most part, how you search for and use a supplemental type certificate. I hope this is helpful. We'll see you in the next video.